Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the German Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank, the E75 TS. Now this is actually the unskinned version of the Rodger Dodger, which looks so much better than the Rodger Dodger does. And it's a tank that you'll be able to earn for free. It's a decent heavy tank. I personally don't like it, but it does have some strengths and it does have some weaknesses. And if you use it to good effect, it can be okay. It's just the armour lets it down a little bit at times for me, and that's what kind of annoys me with it, with the heavy tank. But then it has got great mobility. As a tank, it's fairly solid, and you'll be able to earn it for free. So, what do you have to do to earn it for free? Well, you have to do it in 5 challenges. Challenge number 1 is block 15,000 or more damage. Challenge number 2 is deal and assist at least 25,000 or more damage in any number of battles. Number 3 is destroy 2 or more tracks in 3 battles. Win 5 battles for challenge number 4, and challenge number 5 is penetrate 30 or more shots in any number of battles. Now, with challenge number 3, I know they did a tracking challenge recently, and it was quite weird with how it tracked your tracking. Track. So, basically in that challenge, and it didn't say it anywhere, but it wasn't tracking it. If you were to blow, say if I was to blow off this Rheinmetall Panzerwagen's tracks, and then just keep shooting his tracks consistently, just to keep taking them off every time he repaired them, it would only track it the first time that I tracked him, but then I'd go and shoot another tank, and then it'd take that tracking and track that, essentially, and keep the numbers ticking over that way. So what I'll say to you guys is if you're doing that tracking one, challenge number 3, just blow the tracks off of one tank, then go to another tank and blow the tracks off of that one, just to make sure that you've guaranteed that you're going to get it. Don't sit there retracking an E100 constantly, just keep blowing the tracks off, because it might not track. Who knows? That's just a disclaimer. That's just a thing out there, just saying, don't get screwed. You know, just take the tracks off of 2 separate tanks, and then hopefully it should track. But you've got a whole week to do it, so it goes from tomorrow, Tuesday the 29th, through to the 5th of April, which is the week after. It's the Tuesday after. So you've got a whole week to do it. It's not the hardest of challenges. I mean, you can pretty much do all of it pretty easily. The one that might take the longest, realistically, is the blocks damage, because we all know how block damage goes. Sometimes when you want block damage, it just doesn't happen. And, yeah, so you just need to make sure you take out the right tanks, like some of the more heavily armoured tanks, or the tanks that have got good armour for the tier. May not even be the most heavily armoured, but you can, like, maximise the strength. Like the 430, go side scraping to your heart's content, bounce everything, or hull down, etc, etc. You know, you can do all that, and you'll prosper, and, yeah, it's a pretty decent earn-up challenge. It's not going to take too long, hopefully, for you guys, and you'll be able to get a decent-ish heavy tank. Like I say, I don't like the tank personally, but it's got strengths and weaknesses. The thing that annoys me is the fact that the armour doesn't hold up as well, and the gun can be very troll. And I think it's more, since 6.0, it's better for that. But pre 6.0, the gun really was troll. It was like you aim shots, and it just would say, absolutely not, I'm not hitting that tank for you. No, not at all. So, yeah, the armour is not the best at times, and that is the upper plate and the lower plate. The lower plate is like 175 effective. The upper plate is like only 215 to 220 effective. So pretty much everything you're going to face tier 9 and 10 are going to pen your upper plate and lower plates very, very easily. The strength of the tank is the turret armor is pretty solid. You have got a cupola on top, which is fairly easy to pen. But if you keep wiggling, you keep yourself, you know, moving and stuff, it's going to be pretty hard for them to pen it. And your turret in general. You just got to be careful of the turret ring as well. The turret ring is like 150 or something like that. You just got to be careful of that too. But yeah, you can be very effective when you are hull down in this tank. It's got 360 alpha, which is pretty damn nice. And it's, you know, solid for slapping people up. And with 227 pen on the AP and 282 pen, which is filthy on the APCR, as you've just seen me use against the mouse chin there, that can be pretty damn effective. The thing is, it's got 0.38 accuracy, which isn't the best. Obviously, if you use vert stabs and all the crew skills, you can get that down quite low. And like I say, nowadays, it's a lot better. As I say, you see, we're pretty much fully aimed and we hit the floor on that E75 full side turret. It's really annoying, and the fact that it reloads quite slow at a 13.5 second base reload, which is actually 10.1 seconds fully pimped like I have it now. Yeah, it's just so annoying when you miss the shot and then you have to sit there for ages reloading. Yeah, it's just a pain. And like I say, because the armour on the upper plate and lower plate is so poor, you tend to get penned there all the time. And with 2.7 seconds aim time as well, like say with the gun, sorry, yeah, it just means you're aiming in for ages as well, and that adds on to the derpy-ass gun handling. And the thing is, with getting penned in the upper plate and lower plate all the time, is it's a very German thing, and that is the engine is in the front. So if you get penned in the front, trust me, your engine is going to get damaged constantly, all the time. You're going to lose your engine all the time, okay? And that is the strength of the tank, is its mobility. The mobility of this heavy tank is absolutely fantastic. It goes at 45 kilometers an hour, and it hits it with fair ease as well when you run off-road driving. So when you're losing your engine all the time, it can be just exceptionally irritating. But like I say, if you get it to strong aggressive positions and get hulled down, you can have a field day. You just have to put up with the reload being a little bit slow. So, in terms of a crew, what do I run on this tank? Well, on this tank, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Track Mechanic, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Snapshot, and Off-Road Driving. Off-Road Driving, like I say, to help that mobility along, use the great strength of the mobility in itself. All the gun perks, because this gun is derpy and it needs all the help it can get, and all the rest of the perks are the ones that you would always take on a tank. So, in terms of my equipment as well, by the way, I run rammer, vert stabs, and optics. Optics because you can get up to like nearly 500 meters view range, and that can be a big strength to help you in like bottom tier matches and stuff, get spotting, get assistance, that sort of good stuff. And vert stabs because this gun needs all the help it can get, so making it 20% better accuracy is good. And rammer for the better DPM. So yeah, in this game on Duckler Pass, we've managed to get 4.3k damage while we've been bottom tier, which is really nice. And we're in a really awkward position now with this M48 120mm, who's near full health. He's firing heat, which means he just completely trashes our armour. We managed to get a nice shot through his turret front, because the turret front of the M48 120mm is shocking. And the moment this guy decides and realises, you know what, I can just kill this guy, is the moment I'm dead. He keeps hesitating, backing off, which is good. But right now, he decides, yep, I'm coming for you. I don't quite get the shot off, so he finishes me off. But thankfully, my team is going to be able to help us in that regard. Now, this game was pretty decent because we managed to deal with the higher tier tanks quite effectively. And luckily, we used the mobility to flank and get round and not be the main attraction of the enemy forces, essentially, and just use the gun as good as we can. So we finished with 4.6k damage, the ace tanker, 1934 base XP. A really nice game for the E75 TS when it is bottom tier. And you got to see basically how effective the gun can be if you can keep it working slowly but surely over tanks, and how much the alpha is quite nice to keep slugging. And with that 282 premium APCR pen as well, like dealing with stuff like the mouse chum was pretty easy. It means that if you are bottom tier and you're against heavily armoured tanks, you can just switch the APCR around. You know that you're going to pen them if you hit the weak spots perfectly, which is great. Because there's a lot of tier 8 tanks that obviously mean, you know, face tier 10s, and you just go, how the hell am I ever going to pen that? I'm just not. The problem is, obviously, you've got no armour on your upper or lower plate. So if you're out in the open and you can't get hull down, you're going to struggle. And it is a big tank, so sometimes it is quite hard to hide that upper plate. And it has to take an extreme angle for tanks to just not be able to pen it. And that is a bit of a pain, to be honest. And when you're side scraping as well, you see the way the turret is shaped. It actually juts out of the hull, which screws you over when you side scrape it. Because, yeah, it'll get penned in those cheeks. It's kind of like the Panzer 7 in that way. So, we're on the second game. And we're on Himmelsdorf. We're top tier, which is nice. And we have been very aggressive on this banana road. Because we're top tier, I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to push here. We are hull down. Like, most of the upper plate is hidden from these guys. And we are very fortunate. And you might be saying, why are you very fortunate apart from the matchmaking? Well, apart from that Yahtzee down there who is firing heat with his gun, which is filthy, the Oho and the Oni both don't have derp guns. Which means the Oho has 215 pen on its standard AP round, and the Oni has 215 pen on its premium AP round. Which means they're going to struggle to pen my hull, which is great. If they had the derp guns, there would have been painful times, right? But, yeah, I can keep being hull down here, and because I do have that weak spot on top, and you've already seen them pen it, as the Yahtzee does it again, you have to keep moving. Keep moving, constantly. Move, move, move. Keep wiggling. Keep the turret moving, and therefore it's going to make it harder for them to hit that. If I was sat stationary here, sure, they could hit my turret and bounce, but they could also quite easily just keep pinging the cupola, and that would be bad. So you've seen the gun have its derpy moments a minute ago, as we went for the shots on that guy, on that WZ-121 GFT. Kept hit his track twice, which, like I say, is where it's painful with the long reload. But fortunately enough, we managed to get 2 through his superstructure, and he's backed off. And now we'll hold down against this Oni, who we've managed to track twice and keep him there while reloading. I thought he was going to back all the way off, but fortunately enough, he drove right out in front of me and we managed to finish him off. So now the enemy team are starting to turn for the tanks behind them. So I drive out, get a nice shot into the drive wheel of the T-32 and track him in place. But again, he manages to repair it and he goes and heads off our team. The Tiger 2, the newly buffed Tiger 2 that is now heading us off, and it's like, right, okay, I'm going to push forward. Now, obviously, they're capping, but we've got a heavy tank that's chasing the light tank going back for the cap, and there's only currently one in the cap. So I'm thinking, you know what? It's fine. The cap will be fine. I'm not going to worry about it. And in fact, they've stopped capping. But now the T-34-3 actually went in a bit too brave there. Charged in and is now dead, and I'm now alone against this Tiger 2 and Oni. Sure, I've got my teammates now coming in behind, and they're starting to put shots in, which is great. Now, this is where this tank's armour is pretty nice, right? The tier 7s and 6s... Basically, this tank is very good against tier 6s and 7s, because the armour is solid in the front. Like, this Oni could not pen me. He just couldn't. Unless he loaded premium and got lucky, he just can't pen me with his rounds with that 10cm gun, having 215 pen on the premium. I think it's 190 on its standard round. And I knew that, so I was quite happy to face him, keep my armour towards him and go, lol, try it, mate. And fortunately enough, he just gave up and we managed to shut him down. We're up to 4.5k damage. The medium tank in the cap is getting wrecked by our team. So it's like, okay, I'm going to go around search for this Tiger. There he is. And our 220-something pen round bounces off a Tiger 1 hull. Yep, bounced off the T6-100, unfortunately, which means we didn't get any damage on him there. He takes it from the guy in the cap, and it's like, please let me get a shot in. Auto-aim the shot straight into his rear, because we don't need to aim at the rear of a Tiger. Set him on fire, and end up finishing him off. And a nice, very, very nice game on Himmelsdorf E75 TS, using its turret armour pretty solidly. Finished with 4 kills, Ace Tanker, Steel Wall, High Caliber, Sniper Medal, 4.9k damage, 258 assistance. That's because we blocked, like, 3-4k damage as well. That's why we got the Steel Wall. And like I said, the tank can be really good when you hull down, especially when you're using your gun depression and hiding that cupola. But all round, the frontal armour does suck and the DPM is a little bit slow. But it can be a decently solid tank. I just don't like it myself that much. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!